This game came on the 31st of March 2012. It should have been straightforward for City, who were pushing for the title at the time, but things got complicated early on as Sebastian Larsson scored to put Sunderland 1-0 up. Just before the break though, Mario Balotelli put in a penalty and the comeback looked on for City. A win was definitely in sight. But 4 minutes into the first half stoppage time, Nicholas Bentner scores for Sunderland, putting them 2-1 up at the break. 10 minutes into the second half, City concede again, with Sunderland going 3-1 up. And the scoreline stayed this way until the 85th minute. City could not break Sunderland down. On the 85th minute, Mario Balotelli smashes one in, and City are 3-2 down. And just a minute later, Alexander Kolarov scores a great goal from just outside the box, and City have earned a 3-3 draw, a point that'll see them beat Manchester United to the Premier League title later that season, just on goal difference. What an important point that turned out to be. This game came on the 26th of November 1988, and Oxford United took the lead against second-tier Manchester City, and it was 1-0 for the majority of the game. With just a couple of minutes to go, the corners whipped in, the ball's kind of bundling around the box, and Trevor Morley scores an overhead kick to equalise for City with just a couple minutes to play. City thought they'd earned themselves a decent draw. But then, into added time, and again, City have got the ball, it gets whipped in, and again it's bundling around the box, nobody really knows what's going on. There's a lot of scrappy play, and Manchester City captain Stevie Redmond scores the goal, and that is the season that City actually got promoted to the first tier again, so it was a very important 3 points, and somehow City won the game with just a couple minutes to play, a spectacular equaliser as well. On the 25th of November 2014, Manchester City played Bayern Munich at the Etihad, and Aguero won a penalty early on against a side that had won the Champions League just a year before. With Aguero scoring this penalty as well, City looked good, but then Bayern Munich's experience soon showed, with 2 goals, one after each other just before the break, putting Bayern Munich 2-1 ahead at half-time, and City looked out. Bayern Munich had done a job on us. Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich shut out Manchester City for the majority of the second half, but on the 85th minute, Sergio Aguero manages to slot one home, and it's 2-2. But it doesn't stop there. City counter Bayern in the 91st minute, and somehow Aguero scores, completing his hat-trick, and completing not only one of Manchester City's best ever comebacks, but one of the best ever comebacks in Champions League history. 30th of May 1999, and Manchester City are in the third tier of English football. Earlier that season, City had lost 2-1 away at York City, who now sit in the Conference North, and York City had beaten them 2-1 in December, putting City 12th in the third tier of English football. City picked up form in the second half of the season and recovered enough to get into the playoff final, but they conceded on the 81st minute to go 1-0 down against Gillingham, and they had 9 minutes now to recover. But it gets worse. City concede again on 87 minutes. They have no chance now.
And Gillingham are heading into Division 1. They lead here by 2-0, and we only have some 3 minutes left on the clock.
Heading into stoppage time, desperate, Kevin Horlock manages to roll one home for City, giving them just the tiniest of chances now. And in the 5th minute of injury time, Paul Dickoff puts one in the top corner. City now head into extra time after a comeback that cannot be done justice by a few words. Ridiculous. Paul Dickoff's late goal, and now we head into extra time. After a cagey extra time with no goals, City head into penalties, and the heroics of Nicky Weaver earn City promotion to the second tier. And it's incredible stuff, one of the best comebacks of all time. Just losing by 2 goals on 87 minutes and coming back to win the game on penalties. It's just so hard to explain. What a comeback. It's the 13th of May 2012, and Manchester United have bottled an 8-point lead at the top of the Premier League with just 6 games to go. City are playing relegation scramblers Queen's Park Rangers at the Etihad, and Manchester United travel to Sunderland, and City just need to match or better Manchester United's result because of the far superior goal difference City have. Quite late in what was a nervy first half, Pablo Zabaleta put City ahead, settling the nerves. And at half-time, Manchester United were also winning 1-0 away at Sunderland, but this was okay, as City were matching the result. 3 minutes into the first half, disaster strikes as Joleon Lescott's mistake allows Djibril Cité to smash one home, giving the advantage to Manchester United in the title race. Things look promising for City not too long after, as Joey Barton gets sent off and QPR are now down to 10 men. But somehow Jamie Mackie heads home on the counter-attack, and after all the chances City had, QPR were now 2-1 up. Chance after chance after chance went by and City just couldn't break through. Into stoppage time, City was still losing 2-1. After a couple of stoppage time minutes had gone by, Edin Dzeko headed home. City finally broke through. But news now comes through that Manchester United have beaten Sunderland. Sergio Aguero in the 94th minute somehow scores a goal, the most iconic goal in Premier League history, to beat QPR by 3-2 and win the game, putting Manchester City on 89 points, the same total as Manchester United. But of course, City had that higher goal difference, winning them the league in the most incredible circumstances imaginable. United are on the pitch crying, the fans in the stands are crying at both grounds for different reasons, and City have won the title. February 2004, an FA Cup tie between Spurs and City, and this tops the bunch. Goals from Ledley King, Robbie Keane and Christian Ziege put City 3-0 down at half-time. On top of this, City's best player Nicolas Anelka limped off just halfway through the first half. And somehow making things even worse, Joey Barton was shown a second yellow card just before the break for arguing with the referee, so City were 3-0 down with 10 men at half-time. John Macken recollects being stood in the tunnel at half-time, hearing the City fans loudest in the ground, in the away end. And the City players just wanted to get one goal to make the fans feel like the journey was worth it. The City players were aiming for one consolation goal. That goal came just 3 minutes into the second half with Sylvain Distin heading home. And a slightly lucky second goal came for City about 15 minutes later with Paul Bosvelt volleying home. The cracks began to show for Spurs and the fans were panicking. And rightfully so too, as Sean Wright-Phillips chips the keeper. With just 10 minutes to go, City have somehow, with 10 men, come back to score 3 in the second half. But they made it 4. John Macken in the 90th minute heads home to win the game 4-3 to City. 10 men, ridiculously good comeback, and Spurs have bottled the game. It's just hard to describe how good of a comeback this really was. John Macken, if you haven't seen the interview before, just check it out on YouTube. It'll be on the FA Cup's YouTube channel somewhere. It is remarkable stuff. City are 3-0 down at half-time, and they somehow win in the 90th minute of the game. Outrageous. Wow. Well, there's a lot of iconic moments on there, and if you disagree or agree with me, leave your comments below. I'd love to see them. And please drop a subscribe and leave a comment, leave a like if you can. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.